Welcome to my video on solving practical problems with two-step equations. So the steps are the same as we did when we did one-step problems. So the first step is to read the problem. Underline key words. Define the variable. And write the equation. Solve your equation. And then analyze your answer. Does it make sense? Okay, let's look at the first word problem here. So I'm going to close this up here and slide the page down. So it costs $28 per day plus, and I'm going to underline keywords as I go, $28 per day plus 16 cents per mile to rent a car. Courtney's charge for 1 day rental was $69.50. How many miles did Courtney drive? So M equals miles driven. Okay, this is defining the variable. Miles driven. Okay, now it says $28 per day. Now, you may or may not know what per means, but per means multiply. And we know we're doing 1 day, so what's 28 times 1? 28. So I'm just going to write down 28. And it says plus 16 cents per mile. Now, per means multiply. We don't know how many miles, so we're going to say M. But we do know how much the total charge is, so that's what the equation will equal, and it's $69.50. Now, circle your variable, and I'm going to circle the plus sign because that's in front of the variable. Draw your T. And so we want to get rid of what's touching our circle here, so the 28. Would I add 28 or subtract 28? Good, subtract 28. So the 28s cancel. We're left with 0.16m equals 69.50 minus 28 is 41.50. And we've got one more step because we still don't have the variable by itself, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 1600ths or 16 cents. This will equal 1 in disguise, and 41.50 divided by 0.16 is, so we're going to write M equals 259 and 375 thousandths miles. When we do word problems, we always want to put a label on it. And our label will always be what the question is asking for. So say how many miles, so our label is miles. Okay, number 2. Tucker is, so that means Tucker's age equals 10 years less than half his father's age. Tucker is 12 years old. How old is his father? So what do we want to know here? Father's age. I want to know Tucker's father's age. So we'll just say father's age. So now I've defined the variable. Now we have to write the equation. It says Tucker is. So we can write Tucker's age equals 10 years less than half his father's age. So Tucker's 12. And remember, 10 less than is a switch around, so we're going to put the minus 10 after half his father's age. So how would I write half his father's age? 1/2 F. Okay? When you take half of something, you're multiplying by 1/2 or dividing by 2. and we said put the minus 10 at the end. Now, if you wrote 1/2 minus 10 equals 12, that's the same thing. The only reason I put the 12 in the beginning is because it says Tucker is, so it's saying Tucker's age equals. But regardless of where you put the equal sign, you'll still get the same answer. All right, so circle your variable, and we're going to draw our t. What's the opposite of subtracting 10? Good, adding 10. So the 10s, of course, will cancel. And 12 plus 10 is 22 equals 1/2 f. Now remember, when we want to cancel out a fraction, we use the multiplicative inverse property. So what's the inverse of 1/2? It's 2, because if I flip 1/2, I get 2 over 1, and 2 divided by 1 is 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. That 2 times 1/2 is 1, so I'm going to say it's a 1 in disguise. So 2 times 22 is 44 equals f. So we can say 44 years, whoops, 44 years old. And would it make sense that Tucker's father is older than Tucker? Yeah, so this answer is reasonable. And of course, you always want to double check to make sure you did the right steps. So 1/2 of 44 is 22, and 22 minus 10 is 12. We forgot to check this first one, and this first one is hard to see if that answer makes sense. So this one, you just want to double check the math as well. Okay? But for time purposes, we're not going to double check it now. Okay, number 3. Alexandra completed 1/3 of her assignments and then was assigned 4 more. So let's underline there. Completed 1/3 of her assignments and then was assigned 4 more. She now has 8 assignments left. How many assignments did Alexandra start with? Okay, so A equals assignments she started with. Okay, so 1/3 of her assignments and then was assigned 4 more. So 1/3 of her assignments, okay, of means multiply. And anytime you take a fraction of something, you're multiplying it by whatever it is, or dividing by 3. Then was assigned 4 more, so plus 4. And it says she now has 8 left, so that's what the equation is going to equal. Okay, circle your variable, draw your t. The opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. So 1/3 A equals 8 minus 4 is 4. Now remember, to get rid of a fraction, we use the inverse. The inverse of 1/3 is 3 over 1, and 3 divided by 1 is just 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So that gives me a 1 in disguise. So A equals 4 times 3. Good, 12 assignments. Okay, we have one last example to tackle here. Jackie has 23 Breyer horse models. Jackie has, that's going to mean Jackie equals 3 more than 5 times the number Breyer horse models is Blaze. How many Breyer horse models does Blaze have? So Breyer horse models for Blaze. So we can say B equals Blaze's horse models. Okay, because this is Jackie has, that means Jackie equals. And we know that Jackie equals 23. So 23 equals, because Jackie has 23 horse models, 3 more than 5 times the number Blaze has. Remember, more than is a switch around, so we're going to send the plus 3 to the end. So how do I write 5 times Blaze? Good, 5b. And remember, we sent the 3 to the end, so 5b plus 3. Now again, it doesn't matter if I write 5b plus 3 equals 23 or 23 equals 5b plus 3. It's the same thing. Circle the variable. Draw your T. Opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. So the 3's will cancel. 23 minus 3 is 20. We have 5b. 20 equals 5b. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is a 1 in disguise, so b equals 4 horse models. So to check it, we do 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, okay? And is this answer reasonable? Let's see. Jackie has 3 more than 5 times the number of Blaze. So Jackie, they're saying Jackie has a lot more than Blaze. Is that true? Yeah, so our answer is reasonable. Now let's go back to this one. We forgot to check this one. A third of 12 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So, yeah, if she completed a third of her assignment, she completed some of them, and then 4 more and got 8. Okay, that's reasonable. Okay, that concludes our notes on practical two-step problems. I hope you have a great day.